Hello and welcome to the second edition of the Demian News. This week we'll be looking at some exciting news stories about the new server cleanup, deleting old characters that aren't being used. Could reduce lag. Also, we'll be talking to Bewm about this crazy new class that not many have thought about, or even created for that matter. And after that, we'll have a special song performed by none other than our very own Exie.
And now, Demian News.
First, we're going to throw things over to Zerv, who's got an interview with Exie about the character cleanup and what to expect from that.
Alright, thanks Llama. Joining me now is Exie, talking about the character cleanup. Alright, Exie, so what is this character cleanup all about?
Well, the character cleanup is basically pretty simple. During the next maintenance, the engineering team will be deleting any vagrant that hasn't been logged into within the last 9 months. A ballpark percentage of characters that will be deleted is between 20 and 30%, but the GM team doesn't know exactly how many players will log into their old vagrants, so we can't get an accurate number from them. Hopefully, this will reduce lag across all of the servers. Think of it as giving a car a tune-up or defragmenting your hard drive to delete useless things to free up space. I mean, have you ever thought about all those Pena spammers? They're still clogging up the database. Sure, one account isn't much, but when you have hundreds and hundreds of permabanned Pena spammers, well, you can see why it might get out of hand.
How will this affect Demian server specifically?
Well, Demian should be affected pretty much as any of the other servers. It may not be quite as effective as an old server, say Lawwolf, which has so many more inactives, but the game should be much smoother. Logging in should happen much more quickly, and general lag throughout the game will hopefully reduce significantly.
Okay, a lot of players have been mentioning the fact that the Lord system seems to need an exorbitant amount of votes. Will this help at all with getting a Lord elected on Demian?
Well, no, unfortunately. The Lord is elected based off of characters at least level 60, and of those characters that are level 60 plus, 10% are needed to vote to have the Lord. And since the cleanup is only affecting vagrants, the Lord won't be affected at all. And on a different note, if you have a mule character that you're never using again, but recently logged into, consider deleting it to free up server resources. Characters deleted this way will take up to 90 days to purge from the system, and you can submit a ticket to have it retrieved if you really want it. And on the flip side, make sure you log into your important mules, just to be safe. And we'll do a follow-up with this on episode 4, hopefully with more exact percents of how many characters were actually removed, and if the cleanup lived up to its expectations of improving the gameplay.
Alright, thank you for your time, Exie. Now we're going to throw it over to Llama.
Thanks, Servmans! So, I'm standing here in the tower with one of the more strange characters of Demian. A character called Bewm, one of the very first crit psis of Demian, and self-acclaimed greatest crit psi of Demian. Hello, Bewm.
Hello.
So, where did you get the idea to make a crit psykeeper?
Well, one day when I was making one of my mages, I discovered that one-shots could actually knock people back if you crit at random times. So I decided, what if I made a full dex psykeeper and only did one-shots, knock people back constantly? It pretty much grew from there.
What do people say when they meet your psi? What's their reaction when you start critting them back all the way across the arena?
Well, I get a couple responses usually. One of the more common responses is, why the heck did you spend money and time on that useless character? And usually I just tell them, I like to have fun. I like to be mean with it and mess with people. And, I like to crit. It's just fun and funny. Another reaction is where people walk up to me and they constantly want me to crit them, and they don't want me to stop. And this will go on for hours, and they'll just sit there and be like, crit me, and I'll be like, no. And then they get mad at me and kill me.
So, now how does a full dex psykeeper level?
Well, it's pretty easy when you have friends to help you out leveling, such as tanking in the tower, and then you AoE them, and it's also kind of funny that there's more people willing to P-level you just for the fact that you're a crit psi. They just go right along with it, and they just say, hey, I want to P-level you and help you out, and I just accept and level fast.
Well, awesome. That sounds like a pretty easy way to level. Well, thank you for stopping by, and we'll hope to see you again soon.
Alright, I'll crit you later.
Slash flies across to the other end of the arena, slightly flailing and trying to get up and run over to Exie, but cannot because I keep getting critted out of the arena and gets totally annoyed and just rage quits life. And now we have a crazy little song from little old Exie, has got a strange bit of a high-pitched thing going on here. It's gonna be interesting. Take it away.
I'll pile on the candy, it's such a pretty sight. It makes the food taste dandy, but my tummy hurts all night. I'll put in some ingredients, but keep the rest for me. I'm not just disobedient, I'm careful, can't you see? It's a piece of cake to bake a pretty cake. If the way is crazy, you gotta do the cooking by the book. You know you can't be lazy, never use a messy recipe. The cake will end up crazy if you do the cooking by the book. Then you'll have a cake. We gotta have it made. You know that I love cake. Finally, it's time to make a cake. Making food is just like science, with tools that blend and baste. And every fun appliance gives the food a different taste. It's a piece of cake to bake a pretty cake. If the way is crazy, you gotta do the cooking by the book. You know you can't be lazy, never use a messy recipe. The cake will end up crazy if you do the cooking by the book. Then you'll have a cake. We gotta have it made. You know that I love cake. Finally, it's time to make a cake. We gotta have it made. You know that I love cake. Finally, it's time to make a... You gotta do the cooking by the book. Cake. Cake, yay, cake. It's over now.
That's it for the Demian news this week. Tune in next time for interviews with Razid and Exie about the state of Demian's economy. So for Llama Burger, Exie, and Bewm, this is Zerv saying thanks for listening.